Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tally Book Tuesday, Tally Book Troubleshooting, coming to you live from the Permian Basin. I'm your host, Keith Stelter, bringing you a little bit of positive PR, sometimes some information, sometimes some great stories, sometimes, information that's off the wall, sometimes just trying to, show a different side of the oil field that isn't usually seen. And today is one of those sides. I was an upstream guy for many, many years, wireline, and then a great company who now brings you this show, Arc Energy. We process your energy, gave me a shot, and they do some upstream, production work, but a lot of the business we do is midstream type fluid handling, gas processing. And I had the privilege last year of going to the GPA. That's what this show is about. The San Antonio GPA, the Super Bowl of midstream events. And I don't take that saying that lightly. It blew my mind, just blew me away. And I actually had to bring somebody on today to verify that I'm just, not full of shit. And what I'm saying has some merit. Like, we've all been to oil shows. Great, nothing against anything. But last year, when my company comes to me and they're like, Keith, we're going to go to this oil show. We have this suite, it's going to start on Sunday night. And I'm like, Sunday night? What? Like, who's coming out to have a good time on Sunday night? I'm like, you guys are crazy. Whatever, I've been around long enough. Nobody comes out on a Sunday night. And when we got there, well, I don't like admitting I was wrong too many times, but this was definitely one of those times I was wrong. Everybody was out having a great time, coming up to the suite, and the interactions was amazing. And don't take my word for it. Take a guy who is going to be joining me here in a second after we get a few guys shouting out where you're tuning in from. They're starting to come in the comments. Let me know where you watch from. William, thank you. San Antonio, man. You got to be at the GPA if you're in San Antonio. I sure hope you come stop by, man. It's a great show. Have you ever been? Let me know. The GPA was joined, last year was my first year with ARC. So I had, look at this guy. Oh, I wonder if he might be showing up a little later. Scrooston. I think he means Houston. And JP is actually going to be joining me on the show here in moments. JP, I got him to come down and set up one of his events, Connection Crew, a little dinner for Arc Energy. Went over great, met some great people. And we're both upstream guys. We didn't know what to take, what to make of this event. And I'm like, JP, you got to come in this thing. Like, you'll never believe it. And I'm like, unless, all the events in Houston are like this. And we're walking around. He's like, man, I never saw anything like this. So, Tyson. Aransas Pass, Texas. Heck yeah, sir. Thanks for tuning in. Well, I'm mumbling on here. Oh, Midland Airport. My wife loves to leave on the weeks I have so much stuff going on. She's on her way to California. Good luck, baby. Stay safe out there. Threw me off a little bit there. I thought you were already flying. Maybe the plane's delayed a little bit, or who knows? But without further ado, there's enough of me rambling on. A guy is going to be joining me also. This is the last episode where I'm going to have long hair. It's kind of, I don't know if it's sad or a good thing, a bad thing. I know I'm sure going to sleep a little bit easier, not having this stuff roll in my face constantly. Without any further ado, the man, the myth, a legend, Mr. JP Warren. Thank you, sir.
And we're live.
Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Entering, interrupting your nap time. Appreciate it. I know you got a live stream coming up right away, correct?
No, I don't have. No. I mean, I have a podcast coming up at 9:30.
Okay, you're filming. Okay.
There's a live stream that I will be having when I'm in Midland, when I'm chopping my locks too, on Thursday at 11 a.m. with old Tim Roberts, another gentleman with beautiful, luscious locks, if you will. And so I'm going to drop this right now. Look, so pretty much, if those that don't know are just tuning in right now, Keith and I are in a friendly competition, and it doesn't matter who wins. And I say that if I come in second.
Because you're winning. You're saying that because you're winning right now. Yes, sir. You're doing great.
Listen, hey, I thought, listen, all right, it doesn't matter who wins. I'm saying that if I come in second, but if I win, of course I'm going to rub it in your face. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to raise funds and awareness for children with pediatric cancer for Sky High for Kids. And I'm going to drop the link of where you should donate. Because listen, here's the deal. Let me explain something, Keith. I love what both of us are doing. Okay, it's great support. It's great this. It's great that. But here's the deal. With me, you literally get more bang for your buck. All right, right? More bangs for your buck if you donate to my cause versus your cause. But then again, there are no winners. So I'm just going to drop it in the comments section if anyone feels kind of friendly and they feel like kind of donating this morning to this cause. It's neck and neck, and we're doing some great stuff and making some great impacts for the kids out there and the families also that are affected by pediatric cancer. So I love how you're doing this, Keith. I love how you kind of hopped on. Do you have 8 inches to cut?
I believe it's at least it's close enough. I don't think they're gonna, turn me away at this point.
No, I don't think so.
It comes all the way down here. So, I know you're gonna have some left behind, but another thing, JP, it is my home, area, the Permian, and the Permian's getting behind me. So I will like to, announce after the live stream here today, Janie Snelson, my mentor, great friend, unofficial mayor of Midland, is actually ponying up 4 tickets to Travis Tritt to auction off so that money can go under my name here.
God.
So there is a chance, I know I'm behind, I think I'm behind $1,000 right now behind you, but there's still time to pick that up. I see Chris Canty, another legend in himself. Chris, maybe Waterfleet out there needs to make a donation. You never know, Chris. So,
well, the thing is that you're from the Permian Basin. You represent the Permian Basin. But to me, honestly, I think donations and goodwill doesn't have boundaries, doesn't have borders. So, if you really want to donate to an impactful, if you're trying to pick which bucket to drop it in the underdog. Me. Help me out.
Who's currently winning? The underdog who's currently winning. Yes.
Well, until those tickets go on sale. But hey, look. So that's all. That's kind of what I want to plug right now before we kind of get into GPA discussion, because I know that's kind of why we're here this morning. So, man, I don't know what you want me to talk about. I'm just going to start kind of rambling, and feel free to interrupt and ask questions, all that stuff. So yes, it was last year. We had that Connection Crew event. We had some great people sit around, and then after, you and Jason were like, hey, look, guys, JP, you got to come to this, this event, this GPA event, it's Midstream. And I wasn't comfortable with it. I'm like, man, usually after these, crew club or Connection Crew events, I like kind of unwinding a little bit. All right. Well, that was the opposite of what happened, because you convinced me to go to the GPA. And I was not expecting everything that I saw when I walked.
So it's not just me. Like, coming from the upstream world, you were drilling and a bunch of other stuff. I was wireline. It was completely different, right? It was set up different. The energy, the interaction, right?
So exactly. I mean, so yes, my whole career I've been, upstream going, whether it's OTC, whether it's Doug conferences, whether it's, AD events and all that stuff. All great, all phenomenal. However, on a Tuesday night, I was not expecting the intensity and energy coming from San Antonio. So, you walk in, there's multi floors of, different booths, events. Each room has it felt like one of those, like those country and western honky tonks, like in the suburbs. Each room has its own vibe. It's like, you got the rap room, you got the country room, you got the techno room. So like each room was so individual. I mean, the energy in the room, the displays, kind of the people that were there. It was such a cool opportunity to meet people in the industry that I guess aren't in my bubble, if that makes sense. And it was a really good experience. It was a cool experience. And for a night that I kind of want to end early, did not end early, because it was such a blast doing that. And yeah, I mean, whether it's VR, blocks of chocolate, just, people networking, talking, everyone in a good mood, everyone out there. And even when the rooms were over, you go downstairs, and that's that bar area downstairs. The amount of people that were there on a Tuesday night, and all just kind of talking, connecting, and laughing, like the energy in the room was awesome. So I
Well,
am.
not just the energy in the room, because there's lots of great events out there. To me, what the shocking part was, like, you'd go stand by the bar and you're next to the COO of some great big midstream who's like, "Hey man, who are you?" And he's like very approachable, and he has, "Hey, we're looking for XYZ. We're having a problem here. Is that something you guys can help with?" And it was like, what? And then you turn around and there's another guy just like that.
It's a very different experience than the some upstream events that we've been to, isn't it?
Like just the interaction from the customers themselves, right? Because all these events, we try and get, the focus is the customers. It is business related, all the fun, all the energy aside, right? You're going there to try and interact and solve, some issues with our industry, right? Like either supply chain or, levels of gas production, whatever it may be. And those guys are there looking for actual advice. And it's looking for partners and looking for, people to work with. And it was just shocking that how much interaction from the customers there really was all night long. Like it was great. It really was.
And there was, that's the thing though. The turnout, it was a lot of, not just on the service side, but it was a lot of customers too. And you're right. They're all hanging out in the same room. They're all chatting. They all want to engage in conversation. So yeah, besides the whole fun energy side of it, besides the VR, the blocks of chocolate and all that stuff, the business side of it, yes, it's definitely there.
The racing car simulator, what was it? The chocolate waffles or something, the dueling piano.
You got to hammer off, your chocolate from a brick. And there's honestly just even like bouncing around the different rooms, the different displays. It was just like, it was a really cool experience, number one, but also the people you met there was pretty tremendous. So I ran into a couple upstream cats. I met some people in midstream as well. So I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So wait, they're having it for your birthday, right?
Yes, sir, they are. It happens to fall on my birthday, my 42nd birthday, September 12th, 13th, and I'm not sure if it's the 14th as well, but we're going to start having our sweet night September 11th, Sunday night. Who knew that Sunday night could be so fun in San Antonio, but it really is there. So it is. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time.
Man, so
are you going to come back? Are you going to swing by through or what?
I would love to, but I'm due in Oklahoma City on the 13th of the AED symposium.
What's going on? Let everybody know.
Okay, so if you're in Oklahoma City or near Oklahoma City or calling Oklahoma City, there's going to be a huge an AED symposium. A lot of great speakers from a lot of different operators. From the super majors to the smaller companies out there. I'm going to be up there. Matt Hill, we're going to be live streaming, and then that week on Thursday we got a crew club event, and then on Friday is a Social Octane mid-con golf game. So we're going to be I'm going to be hitting that up and talking about Kids Crew. Oklahoma City, which is going to be on October 28th. So,
and the first Kids Crew out of Houston was a huge success. Congratulations once again on that, JP. That was awesome.
Thank you. And I wanted to bring it to Midland. However, the Midland Petroleum Museum, West Texas Petroleum Museum, whatever it's called, the space is not ready yet. So we are bringing it to Midland, and I'm going to be visiting with them probably this week when I'm out there to kind of check on the status of bringing a Kids Crew out to Midland.
Perfect, sir.
So anyway, what else you got for me?
Any other announcements? We're going to see you in maybe not tomorrow, but at least Thursday, right?
I'll be there Thursday. Yes, I'm going to be, obviously, for those that are just tuning in right now, I'll be in Midland Thursday, trying to raise awareness and funds for such an important cause. You can go earlier in the comments and see a donation link. The only donation link you need for this fundraising, this important cause, to chop my locks. And I appreciate it. And thank you all for the support already. And it's been fun. I made some fun videos. I've had fun kind of doing some humorous skits for my hair. So that's I'm gonna miss doing those, but it's worth it.
You did inspire me. I did do one flowing wet one, and it's
addicting.
It can be, but you know what? I'm going to be pretty happy to be my clean cut self for a little while. So,
well, not me. What I'm planning to do, I'd like to cut it, I'd like to grow it out again and donate it again. So we'll see.
Hey, this is my plan. Just free haircuts.
Why not, man? Every 2 years, every 3 years.
Excellent. Sir, appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a blast at the GPA. Sorry I'm going to miss it. Hopefully it's not as fun without me, but I hope you have a great time. So I know you're going to have a blast with it, and I will see you in 48 hours.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Good luck with the ticket auction and that route to raise funds. Good luck.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Everyone have a good day. Thank you all.
Well, so two weirdo upstream guys, not weirdos. We're eccentric, I like to think. But the long hair, eventually I'll kind of look a lot more like that than anything else. So flashy shirt today, just feeling like these are the last few days of summer, just to talk about a great event. Like I said, that's coming up next week on my birthday of all days in San Antonio, Texas. Now, you might have questions, logistics, timing. I have a couple great people coming on. I'm going to have them introduce themselves and talk about the GPA, all about what's involved, where you can get tickets, where to stay, the logistics. Please welcome Crystal Myers, Mr. Kevin Broom.
Hey, how you doing? Yes.
Good morning. Crystal, go ahead, introduce yourself first. Take it away. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and then we'll get to Kevin.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'm going to say I'm a little sad that JP is gone, because I wanted to bust on him a little bit and tell him that he kind of has a Travis Tritt look going on himself. So you'll have to tell him I said that. I don't know if he's still there in the chat, but I just wanted to point that out. My name is Crystal Myers. I'm VP of Marketing and Events for GPA Midstream Association. I've been with the association for 15 years, and this will be my 13th convention. Really looking forward to it. And you know, this event, you guys talked a lot about the hospitalities and the networking and the fun side. So I'll let Kevin go ahead and introduce himself, and then I'll jump into a little more of the serious aspect and kind of why we put this event on and what it's all about. So Kevin, go ahead.
So I'm Kevin Broom. I'm Vice President of Communications, and I've been on for, I think, been with the association almost 15 weeks, I think. Maybe not even that long. So I'm pretty new here. This will be my first convention, and I'm really looking forward to, being part of it and being part of the first GPA Midstream convention, or my first GPA Midstream convention. It sounds great from what everyone's talking about. And so it's great to be here and to have a chance to talk about all this.
Excellent, sir. Thank you for taking the time, and I appreciate you include us. I know ARC has been a big supporter of the GPA and Sweet Nights and a few other things, but sounds like we'll get to do a little bit more starting with this. And if I'm correct, I think I get to do a little bit of live streaming from one of the lobbies too, going next week, correct?
Yeah, we're going to set we'll put you in a corner somewhere, and basically pointing so that your camera can point out and catch the audience or crowd behind you. So yeah, we'll have you set up in a good spot. Excellent,
sir. Crystal, take it away. Talk about a little bit more of the the serious stuff. And there's lots, we've talked about the fun. There's a lot of great speakers and information that gets, this GPA isn't just about, sweet nights. What's it really about?
Sure. So first and foremost, we actually have two different associations. We got GPA Midstream, which represents the operators, and GPSA, which represents the service and supply companies. And this convention is the annual meeting for both associations. So we have, 20 plus committees coming in to meet and do important work for the industry there in San Antonio. So, like you and JP were talking about earlier, there are a lot of folks there that are there to benefit the industry as a whole. So while everyone's there to represent their companies, they also take those hats off and put on their GPA Midstream and GPSA hats to work on causes that are really important to everything that we all do in our operations every day and in our businesses every day. I think what makes us unique is we don't have a traditional trade show floor. There's not a true exhibit hall. So, everything's happening mainly across the third floor of the Marriott River Center. And we do have some meetings happening across the street at the River Walk. And this whole conference, from the speakers, the sessions, all of that, it's actually planned by a committee, by your industry peers, to make sure that the topics that we're covering are relevant, that the speakers are top notch. And this group works year round to make sure that we get the right folks there and cover the right things. So we have our roots are technical in nature. So we have a lot of the longstanding technical forums like process and research, treating, design and O&M. And in more recent years, we've added an advocacy track where we talk about government affairs and things going on there. And then we also have a commercial track. And, one of the newer sessions this year that we're featuring there is a cybersecurity roundtable. That's, a really hot topic. And the executive roundtable is another really popular panel where we bring in some executives to talk about basically the state of the industry and what's going on there. So that's kind of who we are and what we do and what our focus is. And we've got some fun thrown in there too in the evenings.
Oh, definitely. Tell me more. You know what? This is the first I've actually heard, and it's just because I'm newer to the industry. The service side, I've heard of the GPA. What is the other association you talked about there? I'm actually not very familiar with them.
Sure. So what you're about to learn, Keith, is that Arc Energy is actually a GPSA member and not a GPA Midstream member. GPSA, we rebranded both associations in 2016, and GPSA used to be Gas Processors Suppliers Association. So it represents the service and supply companies that cater to midstream operators. So that's another group. We all work very closely together. We share a staff, we share office space, and the boards of directors meet in tandem. So both associations work very closely together, and both associations can jointly serve on committees. So it's important to represent both sides, and that's really what we're doing here.
Do all those committees, like the GPA or the GPSA, does it have, chapters like a Permian or Rockies, that kind of stuff, or is it all just kept national? How does that work logistically?
So on the national side, national has the national committees, and the chapters are their own independent organizations. A lot of people don't realize that. So like the Houston chapter has its own board of directors, its own set of bylaws, its own set of officers. So they are their own unique organizations. Another difference is that on the national side, we only offer corporate memberships, and the chapters do have individual memberships. It's great to get involved in both. I know that a lot of people start out at the chapter level, and if they like, what they're doing and what they're working on there, they kind of work their way into the national organization. And that's exactly what our CEO, Joel Moxley, did. He got involved in the Houston chapter. Gosh, I think he would tell you about 30 years ago, and got really involved there, and, worked his way into the national organization and started serving on committees there, and ended up on the board. And now he's leading the whole team. So chapters are a great way to get started. And then attending the convention is another great way to kind of see what everyone is doing collectively.
Well, I know I've been to a couple meetings for the Permian GPA. I didn't know. I'm going to have to look up if there's the other association locally here too, as well. How do you get involved with it on the national level? I guess if Arc Energy is already a sponsor and participation, I guess I know who I need to go to internally.
That's right. And really the best way to get involved, if you're attending the convention, our committee meetings are open to anyone attending, whether or not you're a member. So if you want to check out what, certain committees are meeting about, what kind of work is being done, by all means, pop in the meeting, sit down, talk to the chair and vice chair. They're running these meetings. We are a volunteer-led organization. So talk to the people that are running these committees and that are involved, and, figure out how you can help, how you can serve, and what else needs to be done. Because I promise there is no shortage, and our volunteers are all busy. So the more people can jump in, the better.
And if someone just pops into the GPA, you guys have an app, right, to help guide with the schedule or something too. Is that all marked on there?
We do, yes. We have a new app called Midstream Go, and it's not limited to GPA Midstream or GPSA members, but the convention information is gated to convention attendees only. But as soon as you register, you'll get access. It has the highly sought after registration list. It's got the agenda, it's got locations, and that really is the best resource because our printed program becomes kind of obsolete as soon as it goes to press. So the app definitely has the most recent information with changes that kind of happen all the way up until September 11th when we start.
I will say that is very unique. Not every convention or show will give out its registration of guests or who's, attending. So that was one of the great things I noticed there too, that, you meet so-and-so and you say, oh, thank you, nice to meet you, and be like, man, what does that guy do? And then you can look up on the registration, man, I was just talking to the COO of so-and-so Midstream. Like, it's a pretty great little utility or resource that you guys offer there. So that's awesome.
Thank you. And one thing I will say is, I'm sorry, but we never provide email addresses. We keep those pretty tucked away, but through the app, there is a list that shows attendees that have an app account. So you can also message each other through the app that way. So that's another tool that we offer.
And there's always LinkedIn, social media. Everybody nowadays seems to be on it, right? And reaches out. And, if you're, open to it, there's lots of great people out there who can help you one way or the other. So, a name and where they work sure helps narrow it down to trying to help somebody. Kevin, so this is going to be your first event, right? What are you hoping, to find, or what are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, well, the big thing I'm looking forward to is what I heard you and was it JP talking about earlier, where meeting people, getting out, meeting people within the industry, learning what everyone does, what the companies do. I'm still learning all that, and so I'm really looking forward to meeting the folks in the industry and getting to know people and learn more about the industry and learn more about how I can help communicate the importance of this sector to the energy industry and to society as a whole.
Perfect, sir. When are you arriving? You're out of Houston, correct?
Yeah, I'm in the Houston area, so I'll get there Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, and then I'll be over there basically nonstop Sunday through Wednesday. So. Yeah.
Excellent. Yes, sir. I plan on driving in Sunday morning, leave Permian. I don't know. It's about 5-6 hour drive. And Sunday night, it sounds like the fun really begins. You going to stop by Arc Energy Suite and check it out?
Absolutely. I'll probably make a tour of all the suites, to meet, like I say, as many people as possible. And then, I'll make a tour. I'm sure I'll hit some of the sessions as well. I've got to find out what pigging is. So,
okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the place definitely to do it. Crystal, when are you arriving?
I am actually driving from Tulsa, and I leave Thursday, so I'll get in late Thursday night and kick off the meeting with the hotel Friday and start staging and getting ready. So I'll be there for a week essentially.
Excellent. Okay. Perfect. I'm trying to upload some comments here, the registration, but I don't know if I'm able to or not. We'll get it done after, if anybody is, or reach out to me or Crystal, Kevin, for the registration link. Just, I might
It looks like it's in there. I see it.
I don't know what it's coming up under, but we'll see. We'll see if this works. It's amateur video at its best. We'll get the information out there. If there's any questions out there on, time, when does it start in the morning? Can you give, is this thing an 8 o'clock sharp start? Is this noon? When should, if people are in San Antonio, when should they start showing up?
Well, we actually open registration or badge pickup at 3 o'clock on Sunday. And so I encourage you to stop by early if you can, so you can get right into the early bird reception that starts at 5 o'clock. It's from 5 to 8. And I believe the parties start at 7 o'clock. I'm going off the top of my head, but Keith, maybe you know the exact time that Arc Energy is starting your function. If you don't, it's in the app.
Oh, 7 o'clock, definitely for sure. It's for Sunday night football, I believe, is why we're setting it up.
Awesome. Well, and the sessions on Monday and Tuesday, they start as early as 7:30 and they go until 5:30. So if you want to jump into a committee meeting bright and early, I believe the first one kicks off at 7:30 Monday morning. So all day long.
Awesome. Perfect. What else did we got to cover here? Who are the type, we've talked about, midstream. Kevin brought up pigging. What other kind of companies, that maybe, who traditionally have come, who hasn't traditionally come that you would like to see more participation from?
Oh, gosh. That one hit me blind, Keith.
More operators? Is it operators? Is it rental companies that maybe do more upstream? Is there things from the downstream sector who, to expand, I'm trying to reach out to as many upstream folks just to let them know they build facilities. I'm sure they could get a little bit of knowledge out of this, especially, for building some of their batteries. There might be something that the bigger guys use on their bigger compression station thought of, you know what I mean? Some knowledge sharing. Is that kind of traditionally who you think might benefit checking out every once in a while?
Sure. I mean, there's so much crossover now, in the industry that we do see, upstream, midstream, downstream folks attend. So I would just encourage everyone to take a look at the agenda at gpamidstreamconvention.org and see what we cover. And if you think that it benefits you, and I'll even share the registration list with those that are interested in attending. If you want to see who's coming, names, titles, companies, I'll give it to you. Just shoot me a note, and that way you can see who's there and if you should be there.
Well, like I said, I was blown away. 1 minute I'm standing talking to one gentleman, and he's, vice president of engineering for this company, and he needs a amine plant, and then turned around and talking to another gentleman, and he needs a, slug catcher over here for a guy who was new to selling process equipment. I was just like, holy crap, I don't know what's going on. And like I said, I've been around a little bit, been out of school a couple years now, and I, for one, never in a million years would have thought as many people showed up on a Sunday night as who showed up on a Sunday night last year. So very impressed. I'll admit when I'm wrong, and it was a great time. Like lots of participation. So it starts early and continues throughout the week.
It does start early, and that opening reception on Sunday is really one of the largest gatherings where everybody's in one room together. So, if you can come in Sunday, really encourage you to come in and walk around. We do have exhibitors around the perimeter of the room. So if you don't know anybody, it's a great way to kind of wander around and see who's there and see who you run into and start your networking early. Great way to do it.
For sure. I've reached out to the Oil and Gas Workers Association as well. They're kind of a little bit of a political organization as well, trying to work, legislation for the oil and gas industry. They're, interested in maybe coming and walking around and meeting people to address, some of the methane emissions concerns that people have, legislation. I don't want to spoil who I think I might get, but because schedules always change. So I'm hoping to bring a couple folks there to mingle around and talk and assure some people that legislation, isn't going to hold up, the expansion of the industry. And, and hopefully the message from the industry itself is that it's healthy and it's all moving forward. So.
That's right. And we do have our VP of Government Affairs, Matt Height. He's giving a presentation Tuesday morning at 9, I believe, to cover, what's going on in DC for the industry. And then we also have an environmental forum. We've got safety and reliability. So we've got a lot of things that cover a government affairs focus as well that we're putting on.
Perfect. Crystal, I would love to get the list of company attendees. Well, you're going to have to ask really nice Wayne. I know Wayne's with Waste Management. I believe Waste Management. I think you reached out yesterday, Wayne, and connected with me. Reach out to Crystal on LinkedIn. I'm sure she'll take your connection, and you can. I'm sure you can negotiate.
Absolutely. Happy to send that to you, Wayne.
Good morning. Hanging out in Saudi. Well, thank you, Paul. Thank you for checking it out. Appreciate it. Oh, who else we got? Crystal. Oh, well, and she can't just give this stuff out. You're going to have to reach out and, negotiate. Everything's a negotiation these days. Reach out to Crystal, connect, Ken, and I'm sure she can let you know. Anybody who, especially if you're a rental company, a supply company, the midstream folks, and if you've always been dealing the upstream, I would highly recommend it. They could use a few more vendors, I think, in that case, because the expansion's going on. They need, supplies and fuel for their fleets just as much as an upstream fleet does. So highly recommend people coming to check it out and see how they can help. Unless there's any more questions, I've kept you long enough. I know it's early after the long weekend. Everybody's got to get back, and you guys are coming down to the wire. So I really appreciate your time and joining me today. Hopefully we reached a few people and you get a couple extra attendees out of this.
Hey, thanks so much for the opportunity to come on and share, what this is all about. And I hope to see many of you there. And Keith, looking forward to seeing you walking the hallways with your setup.
And I will be a lot more presentable. I promise you, a lot more professional looking. After Thursday, I'll be nice haircut, and I'll wear maybe a suit instead of a nice. Is there a registration link? Yes, there is, Jose. Jose, there is a registration link. I'll get it. It was up in the comments earlier, but I'll get it to you, or reach out to Crystal. The best thing to do, reach out to Crystal. You have any questions, she's going to help you out. Am I selling you out, Crystal? Are you going to be able to handle all these messages and these DMs?
I think I can. I'll do my best.
Okay, I don't want to, promise something that I shouldn't be promising. You know what I mean?
Hey, I promised that I'd share the attendees, so happy to do that.
Excellent. Perfect. Kevin, always a pleasure.
Hey,
thanks,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Look forward to chatting. And who's going to be the first guest? So we're getting the president of the GPA, right? Is that still on?
Joel's going to come on, and I'll twist his arm, and I might be back there, holding him there. But yeah, we'll get him on for you.
Excellent, sir. Perfect. Looking forward to it. Thank you very much for joining me. You guys were great. And I hope they don't bother you with too many messages or make too many demands, Crystal.
That's all right. As long as you don't expect an immediate response, we'll be in good shape.
Excellent. Okay, everybody. Until next time, that is how you troubleshoot. We'll see you next week coming from the GPA in San Antonio. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.